Welcome to Real Talk, a show where we look at issues facing our youth. My name is Ome Kongo. I'm your host, and today we're going to talk to a wonderful actress, directress, which is a new word that I've learned, and she just really does it all, everything related to film. She's going to talk to us about her new projects and the importance of living your dreams. So I want the Real Talk audience to welcome Miss Esosa Edosomwan.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, definitely. I want to get right to it because you've done so much, and I really not only want the world to hear what you've done, but also your amazing perspectives as not someone who's just acted in the United States, but has also seen much of the globe. But let's start at the beginning. How did you come towards the field of acting?
I came by accident. I was in high school, and I was doing all kinds of other extracurriculars, and one of the extracurriculars went away. It was like choir. I didn't get put in the choir I wanted to be in. And then some drama kids asked me to audition for a play, and I did. And I got nominated for an award at the Kennedy Center. So I was kind of like, this is very strange.
That's cool.
This is my first time. I had no idea what I was doing, but I got really lost in the role. And I was, it kind of freaked people out. So it was cool. And it was just like my first taste of it. And then, so when I got to college, I got involved in black theater productions. And I started writing plays and auditioning for short films and stuff like that. And then it just kind of, one day I woke up and I was like, I'm really enjoying this. Like, I really want to do this, And
when you got to college, though, what were you doing? What was the plan? What did you, everyone has their 4-year plan. What were you going to be doing after the 4 years?
My plan was I wanted to be a fashion designer. And I wanted to be like, I wanted to go to college, study fashion design, and then move to Europe and study under some good designers there. And because I feel like they take fashion there a lot more seriously. And that was really the plan. I wanted to be a big fashion designer. And while I was in college, I was designing collections like every year. I designed sometimes 2 collections a year, and I got all these grants from different arts organizations to do my collections. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is this an original product?
This is an original, yes. This is an original of mine.
So you still have the bug?
I still have I do love fashion. It's not, I don't like work. It's so funny because you can study something. I think you probably know this too. I feel like whenever I talk to people about this, they're like, yeah, I agree. It's like you can study something and love studying it.
Yeah.
But then the culture, like the work culture, you might not like it. But if I was designing for myself, it would be fabulous. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. and now you're living the life on the acting scene professionally. What are some of the projects that you've been involved in?
I guess most recently I did I did a pilot for this show called Brooklyn Shakara, and that aired on Vox Africa in Europe.
Nice. And
that was really cool. It was about an African family. It was a comedy. And then I also recently did a pilot called an African City, and it's kind of inspired by Sex and the City.
Okay.
But it's young African girls, all different, I think there's Ghanaian, Nigerian, Kenyan. So she tried to make it a mix of young African women, and we're supposed to be shooting more of it in Ghana actually. So that's a fun project. And then I did a one-woman show. I played the first female pharaoh, Hatshepsut, in a one-woman show. I played 11 different characters.
Are you serious?
Yes, I played
11 different characters.
Everyone to tell her story basically in her life and her. So
wow.
Yeah.
How
it was
that
challenge.
received?
It was received really well. I was really excited. I was really scared because it's such a challenge. There was no intermission. It's just me. I can't leave the stage.
Right.
I can't have emergency. Be like, excuse me. So it was challenging, but I was so excited that I made it through, and we got an awesome response. We got standing O's every single night, and good feedback on how to make it better as well too. So.
Have you found in your experiences that stage acting is more difficult than doing work for television and movies, or it's just different types of difficulties?
It's completely different. I feel like, they both require different kinds of stamina.
Yeah. Okay.
What I love about theater is you get that immediate rush, the response from the audience, and you can't, like, you cannot replace that feeling when, you know, audiences are into you and you're into it, you know, but there's no second take, you know, something could go wrong, there's no second take, there's no whatever, and the stamina of, like, rehearsal, and then for a one-woman show, the stamina of, like, creating all those different characters and learning all those lines and all that was like a new challenge. But then with film, it's like, you just, you know, there's all this downtime where you're sitting around waiting, and then you have to be on. So it's a different kind of, like, you know, technique of just, like, okay, like, making sure that you're still on your game and you're able to deliver when you're ready, when they need you to deliver, because there might be a long period of time where you're just waiting. It's just really hurry up and wait. You're just waiting a lot, so you better get used to just sitting there and having something to do, you know, that doesn't distract you also from what you have to deliver. You know, and then, you know, when you do theater, you know what time you're going to be on and whatever, but for instance, on the last shoot I did, I had to do a very integral take at like 3 in the morning, and it was like a close-up on me, and I was ready, but it's just like, you know, it's 3 in the morning. It's 3 in the morning. And you gotta make it look like it's, you know, like 7. It was like a dinner scene.
That's crazy.
I
noticed you're from Nigeria.
And
I noticed that a lot of your roles, as I studied and learned more about you, it seems that you're very committed to doing roles, creating roles that put Africans in a positive light. Is that intentional, or this is just how it kind of just happened?
I think it just kind of happened that way. I mean, I'm Nigerian, but I get mistaken for everything, which I love, because I love being able to play different people. You know, I've played different people. I've played Ethiopians, played Congolese, played Rwandan, played, you know, I can play a lot of things.
You ever play Nigerians?
And, you know, sometimes I play Nigerians. Sometimes they don't believe that I'm Nigerian when I play Nigerian, though. That's so funny.
That's crazy.
But yeah, sometimes I play Nigerians. And it's just, I just gravitate, you know, it's just roles that people have, you know, they saw me and they wanted me for that. And I gravitate to certain things, I guess, also because of the, you know, everyone has their sort of reservoir in terms of emotional depth, and I'm more of a dramatic actress, and then also I love strong characters, or characters who go through a lot and overcome. I love that, but that doesn't mean that I won't play a villain.
Okay, that's fast. That
doesn't mean I won't play a villain.
La femme Esosa, to that extent. Well, what do you think about the images that we see as it relates to Africa? I mean, you're someone who's traveled the globe, you know, either abroad or here. Some of us, you know, who come from the diaspora really feel like the perception from what people see is just very negative. What do you think about that?
I think that I feel like it's getting a lot better. Like, there's a lot more options now. I feel like maybe even 10 years ago, you really didn't see, like, anything that had to do with, like, Africans being, you know, affluent, educated, fabulous, like we all are. You know, you don't see the bustling cities and how, like, it's just, you know, certain places are similar to New York or similar to, like, a big, you know, city in the States. And so I feel like it's getting better because there's a lot of, like, you know, the Africa Channel, all these different channels, and then all these different entertainers, you know. I mean, yourself included, myself included. There's just so many people also coming to the limelight that are like, look, we're African, we're okay with saying we're African, and we're actually kind of fabulous. We're not, we're just not what you think, you know. And there's a lot, I think, of, it's just unfortunate to me that, because I just feel like Africans in general, you know, have been duped into this idea that we need help all the time. When we have the richest, you know, the richest continent, we have geniuses on that planet that, you know, on that continent that have created and developed and all kinds of things. And it's just like all this, like, aid and this, I just feel like we need to start taking care of our own problems and figuring out, you know, those of us that are in the diaspora, figuring out how to give back, and then just getting rid of, like, all that government corruption, you know. But I feel like Africa has the power to save itself, and Africans have the powers to save themselves. We we're geniuses. There's no excuse,
Yeah,
you know.
definitely. So do you feel like some of the change that we've seen over the last 10 years comes directly from Africans taking more of a direct role, you know, getting behind the camera, putting out the images, getting, you know, more deeply involved in acting and the like? I mean, we've always been there, but obviously the amount of control that we may have had over the years has been not as strong as it may be now. Do you feel like that's part of the reason we're seeing better images?
Probably. I mean, I don't really think that we can expect anyone else to do it for us, because I feel like images always have like politics that go with it, and depending on your political agenda, you're not going to push a certain view of something. And I feel like if we have the agenda of, we want to show, you know, that Africans are beautiful, that, you know, empower ourselves, and also tell stories that haven't been told, because there's so many, we have so many stories.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, there's so many countries in Africa, and everyone always talks about Africa like it's just like one big country, but it's not. There's so many different tribes. There's so many heroes, so many, you know, just people that have died for, you know, died for the others in their country, or trying to save others in their country, or there's just so many great stories that need to be told that haven't been, you know. And I think that, you know, there's no one else is gonna, you know, tell them if we don't do it. So
what would you say to young Africans, particularly in this country? So many, you know, you see that many of the teenagers that we see walking around trying to blend in, pants sagging down, and trying to speak the slang that many people speak on the street. Well, what would you say to them as it relates to the importance of showcasing themselves in a way that talks about the pride that you're mentioning right now?
Right. Well, I mean, you know, when you grow up in a certain environment, you are a product of your environment. I feel like I'm a product of my environment in a ways too, because I was born in America, but it's like I had all these influences, and I traveled a lot. I lived in Jamaica for a while, so I saw different types of people, and so I just learned how to like just find myself in that thing.
Yeah.
So when you grow up in certain environments, sometimes you feel like I have to do everything that everyone's doing, and or it's even unconscious. You don't even know that you're doing it. But it's like, I just think it's important for young people to really know where they came from and understand their history in a really deep way. Not just like, oh, okay, these facts, but like just learning about, you know, I think there's something so powerful about understanding where you come from, and how that informs how you behave. Because you have more of a purpose, I think, and I think you have a greater sense of pride, I think, and it can inform how you express yourself. It informs your self-esteem, I think.
Yes.
And so I think getting curious about those things are really important, you know, because we should question everything. Like, you know, it shouldn't always be like, I'm just going to wear these pants down low just because everybody else is wearing them. Like, we should question everything. Where does that come from? Where, you know, why, you know, that like soul food, where does that come from? Is that food that's actually really good for me, or is that food that, you know, was kind of like part of this whole slavery thing, and now I'm just doing it and I don't really realize that it's bad for me? There's so many things we just take on unconsciously, and we're just like, yeah, this is my culture, but it's not really your culture. It isn't. You actually probably don't really know what your culture is. You know?
Those are great points. I hope the audience is being enlightened by that. And we just ran through the gamut of so many issues that are affecting Africans throughout the diaspora. And when we come back from the break, I definitely want to talk about your most recent labor of love, and also let people know how they can get involved when we come back from the break.
Awesome.
We'll be right back with more Real Talk.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Welcome back to Real Talk, the show where we look at issues affecting our youth. My name is Ome Congo, and I'm here with the producer, actress, and directress, Miss Esosa Edosomwan.
Hello again.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. We're really happy about this. And as I said before the break, I wanted to talk to you about your latest project, because it really sounds like it can be really groundbreaking and really open a lot of doors on just issues that a particular group of Africans face here in America. Tell us a little bit about One Night in Brooklyn.
One Night in Brooklyn is a coming-of-age comedy, and it's about a group of Brooklyn bohemians who decide to throw a trans-African Independence Day party.
A trans-African Independence Day party. Just that alone.
I know. And I was playing trans-African because I'm sure no one has ever heard that. So, trans-African, well, to me it means I'm not afraid to honor where I come from and allow that to express how I inform myself today. That's what it means to me.
Okay.
And I use it, we use it as a way to kind of describe someone like me or you who is like, our heritage is from somewhere else, but we're in the diaspora elsewhere, outside of that country. So it applies to Afro-Latinos, Afro-Europeans, Africans, you know, first generation, whatever, African Americans as well. So it's a broad term that kind of like, you know, it's I guess it's easier than saying, walking around all the time saying I'm Nigerian American or I'm this American or I'm this American instead of saying just African American, you know. So yeah, the idea came to me. I was hanging at my friend's house. She was having a house party, and it was like all of my college friends, and I just had this like epiphany. I was like, oh my God, I remember that movie House Party, and I loved it. And I was like, how come no one's made any movies like that? You know, I used to love School Days. I used to love like A Different World. I used to watch that all the time.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I want to see a movie with like young, educated, brown-skinned people that are very diverse, but also very culturally specific. So, you know, my friends, Ghanaian American, Nigerian American, you know, Congolese. There's just like this whole Ethiopian, Haitian. It's like I wanted to see specific people, and I realized like usually we just see monolithic black people on TV and on films. We don't get to see like that culture referenced at all. You know, so I thought it would be cool to create a, you know, like talk about these young people who are at that stage in their life where they just graduate college. They're trying to figure out how to pay their bills on time, trying to figure out how to, you know, follow their dreams and have the right relationships. And they're all, it happens all on one night. So that night, something happens to each of them that kind of forces them to grow up, and you know, they have to become adults. They have to like face, you know.
And why Brooklyn?
Brooklyn, because Brooklyn is
Brooklyn's Brooklyn.
Brooklyn's Brooklyn, and it's like, you know, it's a story that comes from me, and so I was using, at the time when I came up with the idea, I was living in Crown Heights, and then I moved to Bed-Stuy, and there's like all these young artists, and it's still Bed-Stuy is like, there's just so many artists, and it's just a great setting for that, because I think that's what I was going through, and that's what so many other people I knew were going through, and it was just like, you know, it's a very interesting thing. And then that coupled with the whole like gentrification stuff going on in Brooklyn and all that, it's a good setting for a story like that.
Now, as I've seen some of the pictures of the beautiful cast, tell us a little bit about the characters in terms of where you've situated them. Where are they coming from?
You mean like what their backgrounds are? Okay, yeah. So the lead male is a Nigerian MC. He's a rapper, and he's kind of like on the come up, and he does his little gigs or whatever. But he's also kind of he forgets to pay his bills and stuff like that because he's so focused on his music. And then his girlfriend is a girl named Maven, and she's Afro-Latina, and she wants to be a lawyer. She comes from a family of lawyers. And she just found out that she was accepted to this really prestigious law school. And she's been dating her MC boyfriend since, like, you know, middle school, on and off again. They're always breaking up. So the night of the party, they actually break up on the way to the party. And all this other drama ensues. And then there's the girl who's throwing the party is... the character's name is Leela, and she is a girl who survived Hurricane Katrina, moved from New Orleans, came to Brooklyn to finish school, and she decided to live with her cousin or whatever. And that was important to me because I had so many friends that were affected by Hurricane Katrina, and no one really talks about it anymore. Everyone kind of acts like it's over. And I think it actually would be really great to see that, because there's so many people who are still dealing with that and that lost a lot of family, you know. and just don't feel the same because they just feel like their home is not the same, you know. So that's it. I love that character. She's the one who decides to throw the whole party, and then she's living with the character that I'm playing, Jasmine, who's an Ethiopian model, and she kind of has her own set of issues, which contribute to the drama in the film. Yeah. So, I mean, those are like the core, like the four core, you know, characters. And then there's a female DJ who's running the party.
Nice.
There's a guy named Blunt who has a problem with I'm sure you can guess what that is. Yeah. And then
no mystery.
Rocksteady is the other like big character, and he's just a friend of the Nigerian MC, and he wants to be in the limelight, but no one takes him seriously.
Wow.
So yeah, all these characters, the comedy definitely comes from people that I knew, and you know, and also from myself, but all of these characters were kind of inspired by just, you know, living in Brooklyn and observing.
What's it like when you're not just acting in something, but you are directing and producing and writing as well as acting in it? How does that work for you?
It's kind of crazy.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I can imagine one or the other, but like all four.
Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy. In that like also when I'm acting in something, I get really into my characters, and I usually I'm in the character, and I don't, you know. So I need to be kind of like be in my little zone. And so when I did like some short films before where I was directing and acting, it was a lot, and I learned a lot from those experiences to help me with making this film, because it takes you're kind of going in and out. Like the director brain is a completely different brain, you know. And then for me to be in the scene with someone and then trying to be in the character and then also going back out, I would have to look at the footage and be like, okay, wait, that doesn't look right. That, you know, we need to move it here.
Right.
So I realized I needed another set of eyes, and I also need. So my DP is her name is Sherry Kalk, and she is based in California. We've known each other for years, and she's a genius. And because I trust her so much, and she's also a director as well as a DP, I have another set of eyes on this production that's going to help me. Yeah. So the days that I am shooting, and thank God it's not, you know, I'm in one of the main characters, but it's an ensemble movie, which the kinds of flicks that I love, and it's not like it's about me. So I have a lot of time where I can be director, and then the days that I do shoot, I will have someone be like my second pair of eyes, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, what's the grand plan for the film? Are you looking at something that one day be on the big screens, or this is more of a personal labor of love, or what are your plans as it relates to the film?
My plans, without giving too much away, are for a lot of people to see it. Yes, big screen. If that happens, that'll be cool. But I actually feel like things are changing nowadays, and we do want to have some limited theatrical thing going on, but I feel like things are changing, and like mobile stuff and the web and all this stuff is changing how people consume content, and I feel like our audience is on that wave, and so we want to be on that wave too. Yeah. And what's the best way for people to learn more about the film? Well, they can learn more about the film by going to Indiegogo.com / One Night in Brooklyn. That's actually where our fundraising campaign is going, because right now we're raising funds to make the film happen so that we can shoot it in July. And the goal is to get donations from $10 all the way up to whatever people want to give, and kind of make this a community effort to, you know, people always complain about images on screen or whatever, but it's like you have to support indies like us, because if you want to see it, you know, that's the only way we can make it happen, because we're an unknown cast, you know, and it's not like we have some major actors in it or whatever, but it's a great story, and whenever I talk to people, they're like, wow, I really want to see that, you know. So you just got to vote with your dollars, because, you know, we don't do that enough. We don't support enough, you know, images that we want to see. So people can get in at the ground level right now if they want to. They can get in at the ground level. They can be founding producers. If you give $110 or above, you're a founding producer. So we will give you a credit, and you will be, and it's tax deductible as well, because we have fiscal sponsors. Founding producer, that sounds pretty cool. What for some of the young people watching,
as I sit here and just listen to you, you're beaming with all of this energy, and I can clearly see that you're someone who has found your path, has found your calling. Well, what do you say to young people out there who are watching, who just may be unsure of themselves, not sure of the direction that they're going in? What should they be doing? Do they embrace the confusion? Should they feel like a loser because they haven't figured it out while all of the other friends have figured out what they're doing?
Right.
What advice would you give for them?
Yeah, I would say embrace the confusion, because I feel like the only way it always makes me sad whenever I meet someone and they're like, I have no idea what my passion is. I'm like, I feel so bad for you, because I can't imagine. I can't imagine not waking up every day and like wanting to do something, like not having like a dream, you know?
Yeah,
I feel like that's what keeps you alive. That's what keeps you motivated. I mean, that's what we're here for. Besides, you know, family, friends, making great connections with people. That's what I feel like life is about, like using whatever talents you were given to bring forth something to the world, you know? So I mean, if you don't know, then embrace the confusion, I would say. And then I would say, in embracing it, I feel like the answer always comes when you have the question. Like, you just have to be looking for it, and you have to like try things and like follow your gut, you know? You know, and you might fall into something that you had no clue you were going to want to do. I mean, I had no clue I would be an actress. I was not, no, seriously.
That's amazing.
You know, and my personality too, you know, I was like super shy and stuff too when I was young. So it wasn't like anything, I wasn't like some, you know, little kid who was like always on the stage or anything. So it's just interesting. You just never know, you know, where life will take you. And it's good to kind of embrace the confusion and go with it. And sometimes you got to follow your gut. Like, I didn't think that I would be directing films at all. The only reason why I started directing films is I was like, okay, I want to make more work for myself as an actress. And I started someone was like, you're a writer, you should write. So I wrote something, and then I was like, well, if I wait around for someone else to direct it, who's going to direct it? You know? So I was like, I guess I got to direct it. Let me just go ahead and direct it, you know? And from that, even though I was like really scared to do it, you know, because I was like, I have no idea what's going on, all these great opportunities happen, and I wouldn't be sitting here today talking about, you know, One Night in Brooklyn if I hadn't followed that gut instinct, you know?
So you have to be open to the possibility, just like John Singleton telling Ice Cube, if you can write rhymes, you can write films, basically.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely open to possibilities, yeah.
Where else can people go if they want to learn more about you, follow you, you know, Twitter, Facebook? Where can they go?
Cool. My website is esosae.com, and then I'm on Twitter at esosae. And I'm on Facebook, and as well, I have a Facebook page. And we also have a Facebook page for One Night in Brooklyn. Okay. So it's facebook.com/One Night in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yep.
You're giving a lot of advice. Yeah, you obviously are a busy woman. You still got the fashion design going, still do everything that you just love to do. And I appreciate you coming in here and just talking about the beauty of being in your own space. We wish you the best of luck on the project.
Thank you so much.
And hope that many of our viewers become founding producers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's going to do it for another episode of Real Talk. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at realtalk@omekongo.com. And remember, our youth are 50% of our population, but 100% of our future. Let's make sure we're taking care of them. See you next time.